Good morning, all. This is John with Back to Brick. It is a really early morning here on Friday the 25th in America. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining. It's about 5 a.m. here in America on the Pacific Northwest anyway. So this is the first time we're trying one really early. It just so happens that our guest is over in Austria. So hello, there is our guest right there, MB Mox. Hello, Noah. How's it going? Sorry if I don't hit the wave and stuff. It might look like I'm in a little bit of a hostage situation. I'm not with my Lego room right now, but that's because it is 5 a.m. here and everyone's asleep, and my Lego room is right above where everyone sleeps. So I brought a little bit of Lego to talk about here in a bit, but I'm going to go, hey, there's Matthias. There's our guest right there, everyone. Boom, boom, MB Mox. Give that guy a follow. He's got fantastic work. We're going to talk about his artwork coming up here in a little bit. But I just want to give you guys a little bit of rundown what we got coming up here. You're welcome, Noah. Tonight we have the start of the Don't Sweat the Lego Technique series. If you're not familiar with that, I've been posting about it all week. There's information in the stories, there's information in posts and whatnot. But it starts this evening, starts at it's Friday night, 7:30 p.m. That's Pacific time, so it would be 10:30, it's late, yes, 10:30 on the East Coast. We're starting with Rowan Beckett. He's gonna teach us about Lego Technic and movement. He's gonna walk us through there. I just posted one of his videos. He had the Star Wars videos. It's so cool. He's gonna walk us through the basics of Lego Technic and movement. So that starts tonight at 7:30, the Don't Sweat the Lego Technique series. It's really, really exciting. We've got 7 artists. We're going to be doing it for a few weeks, actually. We'll be doing a live stream every night with a different artist. So we're going to be starting out with Rowan. We've got Lego Larry going to be doing habitats. We've got Zach Steinman. He's going to be doing some abstract work. We've got Kelly Bartlett, who's going to be doing her traditional and classical techniques, unique techniques that she's got. We've got Scott, who we just chatted with a couple days ago here, Toying with Light. He's going to walk us through his photography process. And then let's see, who else am I forgetting? I got my own list here. Oh yeah, we've got Gary, Lego Master Gary from Germany. Some of you folks may know him and might be near him right now, but he's going to walk us through his micro scale building, stuff like this, but even smaller, like nano scale. And then he's got this map of Berlin that he's working on. And he's also got this huge mock that's 108 32 stud base plates. It's enormous. He's going to walk us through that. So it's going to be really cool. And then we've got Jesse, who we've had on the podcast before. Garrett's interviewed him, as well as Zach and Kelly. Kelly's up right now. Zach was last week. Jesse is going to be doing from Brick Designed. He's going to be doing his little furniture tutorials. It's going to be awesome. It's one of my favorite things that I came across on Lego Instagram. It was back when I was over on my personal page, kind of lurking, not being a Lego guy yet for a few years, learning. And Jesse was one of the guys that I was following over there. And it's his videos get like 10, 20,000 views. It's great. They're so informative. So then that's it. Those are the 7 that we're going to be doing. So it'll be starting tonight, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're going to do a new tutorial. Hello, Czech Republic. Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a fan of the podcast. I am John. I'm the new guy here, so I'm not the actual host. I'm the co-host now. I just started a couple weeks ago. I've been doing a lot of the social media engagement. I've also been doing these live streams that you're looking at here right now. Just did one with Scott from who's Toying with Light, the photographer. He's phenomenal. Just did one with Zach Steinman, who was a podcast guest last week, who I've also done some work with over the last few months. And then we started off with Peter, Awfully Good, who actually designed this little guy right here. He gave this to me as a gift because I did a little work with him on a feature on my personal page. I'm Blockhead23, by the way, for those who are curious. Block_head_23. So this is his micro build of one of his medieval castle that he's got over on Brick Design up for instructions. It's BR1 Brick Design. And the big version, the big guy. Like, he sent this to me as a gift. He built me. These bricks are over 40 years old. These are from his original collection. And as a thank you, he sent this to me. How cool. right? I mean, check him out too. Awfully good. AFOLLYGOOD. If anyone wants to, there's Matthias right there. If anyone wants to tag him in this, please do so because he's got phenomenal work. So speaking of Matthias here, once again, that Technic series starts tonight, 7:30. Just a reminder. I'll remind you again at the end. So speaking of micro builds and people who are extremely talented, isn't it cool? It is so cool. Look at this, like the little gargoyle on top. I keep knocking this part off, but I was thinking about Craggle just because I'm keeping it forever. See, look, that just happened. It fell in my coffee mug. It happens when I move it around, and this is something I'm going to keep forever. This is never coming apart. So, maybe if Peter tells me it's okay to encase it in something, or I'm just going to get a case for it made, so that it stays as it is. It is awesome though, isn't it great? I feel very, very honored to have received this. It's very cool. So without further ado, we're going to get to Matthias here. So Matthias, MB Mox, he just said that's so awesome up here. He's going to, if you give a pop down on that scroll down thing up top there, you're going to be able to see his name. You'll see his name here when I pull him in as well. Make sure to give him a follow. Look at all of his work. It's really great. We're going to talk about his inspiration. We're going to talk about where he's going, the contest that he's been a part of that really, I think that's actually how he and I met. So we're going to chat about all that stuff here real quick. And this is my first time doing this one so early, so I apologize if my phone's a little cattywampus here. I am in a different setup. I am not a hostage. I am in a hotel, our own hotel right now, because I have people that are sleeping in my Lego area, so I can't be there right now. So I apologize for my lack of Lego back here. So we're gonna get to Matthias. We're gonna chat to him. He's got Lego he can show us, and he's got a whole lot more he's gonna talk about us. I just did a little feature of him a couple weeks ago on my personal page, where I posted most of his work. Actually, I'm looking now back at his work right now. His page started back in February. Started posting in February of this year. So I want to find out where it all started. So we're going to get to him right now. Let's see here. Matthias, you still there, buddy? Yep. Let's bring on Matthias. Coming to us from Austria, which is awesome. So I've never been to Austria. I've never been to Europe. And I'm really looking forward to being there this morning. There he is, coming in. Oh, all right, bro. I think you got to turn your camera. Oh, there we go. There we go. There he is. How you doing?
Hello, John. Yeah, everything fine. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. I know it's not 5 in the morning there. It's more like, what time is it there now?
2 p.m.
Oh, yeah. So a little bit more rational time. I wake up this time every day, so that's why I'm as chipper as I am. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us here on Back to Brick.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here, man. I'm a big fan of your work. I was just getting ready to say that I came across your work in one of your contests here. I think we started chatting when you were doing the Tiny Masters contest.
Yeah, that's very, very much possible.
Yeah, and now, so when did you start doing the Tiny Masters?
When did the season start? I think sometime in summer, maybe June,
okay.
Maybe even earlier. The first round was basically you could submit any one of your works. The only criteria was that it had to be any micro scale. And then in the first round, there was a judge voting, and that one actually went for pretty long. And then the KO rounds after that, those were quicker.
Yeah. They seem to really kind of, I don't know, maybe I was just busier or I wasn't paying as close attention as I thought, but they just started to jump on top of me. I was like, oh my God, there's voting again. Ready? Oh my gosh. So for those that aren't familiar, Tiny Masters, would you want to, we'll get into your background here, but I want to chat the Tiny Masters because it's finishing this month, right? It's finishing end of this month.
Oh yeah, it's the final round, and the voting will be Saturday to Sunday.
Okay, so if you could explain to them, you'll be able to. It started this year, or the Tiny Master? Yeah, started this year. So
currently,
could you explain to everyone here what exactly the Tiny Masters is? Because you'd be able to do it way better than me.
I'll try my best. So Actually, it's pretty funny because when it all started, I was chatting with a few guys and girls I met over on Instagram as well, and we said, hey, wouldn't it be cool to make a micro scale building contest? And then they actually said they already have something planned and they are already setting everything up. So then I basically I could lean back and be a participant and one of the organizers. And so yeah, it's Mox by Matt and Lego Goblin should be the name. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Lego Goblin.
Yeah, exactly. So those are the organizers, and they've done such a good job. Really, he's really good at all the organization, and she's really good at the graphics design and stuff. So they're a great team, and that's really cool what they've done here, and it's been so much fun participating there.
Yeah,
and yeah, the rules basically are just all the submissions need to be in microscale, and lucky for me, they also allow digital submissions because I don't have a big parts collection myself. So whenever I only have 2 weeks time for building something, I usually have to rely on making a digital build.
Right.
And every round a different theme, and yeah, we are building something according to the theme, and then there's the voting in the story on their contest page, and people can choose who should continue to the next round, basically.
Now it's a different theme each round, right?
Yeah. The first round didn't have a theme. That was basically you could submit anything you wanted, and then for the KO bracket for every round there was a different theme.
Right. And okay, so how many rounds have there been?
It was 16 people who were selected in the first round by the judges, and so then four rounds. 16 people should be 4 rounds, right? Yeah.
It's too early for me to be doing math over here. Well, that's awesome. That's super cool. And they're going to have up. So how they do this is they put up in their story, like how to go vote. Like you have to go click on their story, and it'll be like vote MB Mox versus, who are you up against right now?
I am up against, let me try to get the name right now.
Here, I'll pull it up.
Oh my God, my brain is also not functioning correctly.
Martin, it's Martin.
Yeah, Martin Constructs.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I should know this. Martin is a really cool guy, and I love what he made as well. He's done a really sweet, lovely microscale rendition of Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, he did a great job. It was really because it was Grimm, right?
Yeah, exactly. It needed to be a Grimm's fairy tale, and we went from there.
And so you've done Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, which is great.
Exactly. I chose one where I had a movie to go off that made it easier for me.
Yeah. So that's fantastic. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen this, it's been posted around. We posted it. It's really a great little build. Now you don't. Now this is digital, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Now we're going to get to some of your brick builds that you have here in a bit. So you start off digitally, right? And
yeah, exactly.
And then you buy pieces that you need.
I can show you something. Give me a second. I turn around the camera. I show you something interesting. The lighting is a little bit bad. Let's turn off this one. This shoebox here is my whole Lego parts collection. and those are basically just leftovers. Here I have the parts that I've ordered for a new mod that I will be building. It will probably only be released next year, realistically. But yeah, so I'm really not well organized and don't have a lot of parts here at home. So yeah, whenever I build something, I make the design on my computer, and then I order exactly what I need to build it in real life.
Right. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Hello, everyone. By the way, thanks everyone for joining us. We're speaking with Matthias here, MB Mox. If you can see his name right up there. Hit the follow button on that guy. I'm John from Back to Brick. Also, my I guess personal one would be blockhead23, block_head_23. We're chatting with Matthias about his build. We're about to get ready into his process and his history here. He's there in Austria. I'm here in Oregon, USA. So it's super early here, midday there. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you all for saying hello from your different countries. Hello, Nicholas. Pleasure. If you guys end up having questions, please throw it down in that little question box down there, because people coming in and coming out, the comments, we can't see the questions. So if you have a question for Matthias, or a question for myself, or a question about Tiny Masters or what have you, throw it down in that little question box so that we can get to it, okay? Because we want to make sure we get to everyone. We're not ignoring people. We're trying to have a conversation here, and we're not ignoring you. We're seeing you. We just don't want to interrupt every time. So anyways, Matthias, so we were chatting. You said that you don't have much of a collection, and that you typically, start your builds digitally. I'm looking at your page here, and February 26th was your first post, right?
Yeah, exactly.
When did you get into Lego?
Yeah, should I start at the very beginning?
Let's hear it, man.
Let's start at the beginning. And when I was a kid, basically, I was already a huge Lego fan. But one thing that might come as a bit of a surprise if you've seen my page and what I'm building right now is that I started off as purely a Lego Technic builder. I only built Lego Technic when I was a kid, and I didn't understand the basically what Lego system had no appeal to me at the time, because I always wanted to see something moving and have some functionality in there. Sure. And it was only when I then got to high school, I had a friend, and then he showed me his collection at home, and he had lots of those Lego Castle and Lego Pirate sets from the time, so from the 90s, late 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, I think. And then that's what piqued my interest in castle building, and that's what started really off my model building, because before I was building Technic and also some Mindstorms in that direction, but then I really found the passion for model building with the system bricks.
Well, and so so you say high school is when you kind of really started to incorporate that?
That was when I started with that, and then when I got into what's after high school?
College, university?
Oh no, then actually before. This was before high school, and then so when I was, let's say, so from 15 on, I basically these dark ages, if you lose the interest a bit and you don't do anything with Lego anymore, it's not cool anymore. But then basically it was only after college when I started working. I had my own apartment, when I slowly got back into Lego. And I think what started it again, my interest, was different YouTube channels. I don't know if you know Talkin Brick and a few of the speed build channels. That's when I was catching back up with what was going on in the Lego world. And I saw some of the cool Lego modular buildings, and then I thought to myself, hey, I have a job now. I'm earning my own money. I'm going to buy some Lego again.
Excellent. So about how long ago was that?
I would say that was maybe something between 5 and 10 years ago when this slowly started again. It really then got kicked off when I discovered these programs where you can build Lego on your computer, first with the Lego Digital Designer and then with Studio, because I didn't have a parts collection. I do have all my old Lego at my parents' place.
Oh,
but that's I've kept everything, but it's not in the best condition. I've got so many awesome sets from back then, and some of my old mocks that I built as a kid are also still at my parents' place.
Photos. I want to see photos of those.
I already considered whether I should post something sometime, because I still have some things put together from back then.
No?
I've got nothing here right now, but maybe I'll make some pics sometime.
That would be great. I would love to see that.
Yeah, so those programs was really the big discovery for me, and then I really got into mock designing again.
Sure. So that begs the question then, because you say you don't have much of the collection right now, and you're doing a lot of the digital designing. So I imagine you're not buying a whole lot of sets.
I'm collecting basically one series of sets, which is the Lego Creator Car series. which is also maybe a bit of a surprise with what I'm doing on my page. But yeah, that's the first set I think I got as an adult was actually a Lego Technic set.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun putting that together and trying out the functions. But then in the end, I thought to myself, okay, I actually don't want to really put that in my shelf. It's not pretty enough, you know. And then the next thing I got for myself was, I think, the Lego Volkswagen Campervan.
Yes, yes, yes. I was going to bring that up because we did a little room tour earlier, and we're going to get to that here as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say the name that just joined is pretty funny. I'm not going to say it out loud. But good morning from EST. I imagine that's East Coast. Good morning. Evan is out there in Philadelphia. People are wondering why it's 5 a.m. Live stream, and Evan's right. It is 5 a.m. where I am. I'm in Oregon, USA. The guy down there, that guy, Matthias, MB Mox up here, he's in Austria. So it is 2 p.m. there. That's why we're having a 5 a.m. conversation. You said that the camper van was one of the ones that drew you in, huh? The red and white. That was
then I got
setback.
Sorry?
That was my first setback from my dark ages.
No, really?
Yeah,
that's a coincidence.
I bought
it. That's
awesome. 4 years ago, I think. So let's see, it's 2021. Yeah, about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, I bought it, and it just, I didn't realize. Oh, look, Lewis is here. Oh, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Lewis, hello.
Yeah. I bought that set, and I didn't realize Lego was doing stuff like that, right? So I was like, okay, and then I found he's driving. Be safe, dude. Childhood Lego fan, just trying to calculate. Yeah. I'm 45, if that helps. Good to see you, buddy. And I think he might be talking to you as well. But anyways, I don't want to get caught up in that. So yeah, I bought that, and then I got the Sarlacc pit. I found it at a Goodwill, the Sarlacc, and it didn't have all the pieces. So then I went on and I found that there was Bricklink, and I found there was Pick-a-Brick, and I was like, well, I'm done for. So
yeah, Technic was the next big discovery for me.
yeah. So you're collecting the cars. So those are the only sets that you keep.
Yeah. Actually, those are the only Lego sets I've got at home currently.
All right, now let's if you don't mind, because you've got Cracklink. Rowan says from Australia, my friend. And he's starting tonight. He's going to be here tonight, by the way. He's the guy that's starting the Technique series at 7:30 in approximately 14 hours that I'm going to be back on here. I need a nap. But so let's see. You've got some of your mocks.
Yeah, should I go a quick tour? Give a quick tour.
Let's do it. Everybody loves a little Lego porn.
I'll turn on some more light and switch the camera so you won't be able to see me anymore. Let's start off from further back. So this is my Lego shelves here.
Mm-hmm.
So what I've got set up here is in the top row I have my mocks, and in the bottom row I have my Lego cars.
That Mini is on my white whale list, by the way.
Oh yeah, we have the Mini here. Then we have the Campervan. We have the Beetle, I think it's called, right?
Yep.
Then the James Bond one is probably my favorite. It's got those amazing action features. I love it so much.
It's so fun. Dude, Mike Biziaki, or however he says his name, is one of the best.
Oh yeah. I think he's probably my favorite designer at Lego.
Yeah, he did Ecto as well. He just did the Titanic.
Oh yeah. I've seen the reviews. That's an awesome set.
He did that. That means it's an awesome build.
And micro scale too.
Yeah, right. So let's see what else you got going on here.
I think we'll switch up to the top row here, because this is actually a special piece. I will open the glass door so we don't have as much reflection.
There we go.
This is actually not a mock, so I didn't create the design from scratch. This is a mod from a model that I found on Rebrickable.
Oh.
So they had either the Lego Digital Designer model or the Studio model on there. And I downloaded it and yeah, changed it to my liking basically. And it's Xarda's tower from the video game Gothic. If anyone knows it, it's been made in Germany, and it's one of the early RPGs, European RPG games. And so that's basically what started for me. I wanted to recreate those iconic buildings and locations from the video games I liked. And so this was the first thing I ordered the pieces for and built in real life. And then this is basically what started me making my own mocks. So here we have the
yes. I was
the Temple of Time from Legend of Zelda.
There many times. Now I can see the scale finally.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next one is currently empty. This one should have the clock tower from the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, but I'm currently remodeling it. Yeah, it should be this one. Yeah. I'm currently changing up a few things because I'm making building instructions for it. And I wanted to improve it a bit before that. So I've got it taken apart currently.
You're making instructions for it?
Yeah, I have building instruction for this one already. So for the Temple of Time, you can download them for free on Rebrickable. And I'm currently trying to make more building instructions for my mocks here.
I'm showing everybody the movement of the clock tower.
Yeah, that was the most challenging part, getting that in there.
Yeah, well, it ties back into how you say you started with Technic and started to incorporate bricks, you know. The fact that you've got these multiple motions going on here, can the folks see that? That's pretty darn cool. I mean, that's not easy stuff to do.
The challenging part was that it's pretty small, actually. The space in there is very limited. Right. I basically had a space of 3 by 3 by 3 studs to get the whole functionality in there.
That's so, my fingers can't work like that, man. I don't have that dexterity, man. That's unreal. So, okay. We've gotten up to about 5 to 10 years ago when you started to incorporate the Technic and the Lego bricks. Were you building on micro scale? Tag come from
yeah. That's also a funny story actually, because when I started designing my mocks, I actually had one goal, which was I needed them to fit into my IKEA shelf. And if I had built the things in minifigure scale, then they would have been too big and I wouldn't have been able to display them. Yeah. So that was the reason in the beginning why I chose a smaller scale.
So you went micro because of IKEA.
Yeah, and because I had the shelf from my old apartment already, and I brought it over to the new one, and I thought, okay, I need to fill it with something, and yeah, that was the reason. That's
so great. That's so great. Awesome. Hey man, I'm thankful that you were forced to make it at that size because it turned out really well. Take it easy.
I have to say, of course, since then I really found other reasons why I enjoy building in micro scale most. Yeah, I can say a few words about my approach to Lego building. I think it's a bit different from many other people.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I feel like I'm not really a creative person actually, because I'm really bad when it comes to thinking up my own things and building from imagination and just picking up bricks and building something from it. That's not my thing really. So I always start out with a reference, and then the challenging and the fun part for me is always trying to recreate it as close as possible with the Lego bricks. Oh, ginger ale is my favorite beverage.
I think I was drinking beer at 5 in the morning. I have a koozie on it. I like my ginger ale cold.
Oh yeah, ginger ale is awesome.
My coffee hot. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, and so that's how I approach my mocks. Basically, I start with a reference. I try to get it as close as possible in the Lego form, and with a smaller scale, it's kind of even more challenging because every single part decision and connection and technique matters even more in order to get those details right, and that's what makes it really fun for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine, like, because I find how challenging it is for me to be working in, say, 1x4s or whatever. But now you take one stud of that off, even, or even another stud of that off, and you're working 1x3, 1x2s. Like I said earlier, my dexterity and my arthritis hurts just thinking of that. And so I mean, that's creative in and of itself, being able to be able to work those little nooks and crannies. But then as the gentleman here, I'll call him WTFE. WTFE has pointed out that inspiration comes from everywhere, and so while you're doing this, I imagine your creativity spawns right there, and you're like, well, I could do this with that, and I could do this with that. So you saying that you're not a creative person, we've clearly seen that you are off of the first one when he's laughing at me. There's Brick Design. Brick One Design. We were just talking about you and your instructions for Awfully Good. Hello. But in the first mod that you showed us, you modded that one, right?
Yeah. I still somehow I think of myself more of a puzzle solver when I'm designing my buildings because it's just taking the parts that are already there and combining them in such a way that I get the desired results.
Sure. And that's creative right there. Touching a Lego brick for me is being able to follow the instructions is pretty creative, I think, alone. Because if you talk to people who, and by no means am I trying to pat myself on the back because I can follow instructions, but if you talk to people who don't do Lego, or if you give them a set, say like when she started trying to do Lego with me a little over a year ago or so, when she did the set, she started to have like so much more appreciation for Lego and for kind of some of the difficulty involved with some of the smaller pieces, understanding the instructions, so on and so forth. So, and Rowan says right here, it is so much fun to modify designs. It is. And I've done that and that's where I end up doing more of my stuff than mocking, is modifying stuff, because you see, I mean, that's the finest, the flattery of art is imitation, or something along those lines, where I chop that up, but it's the finest form of flattery is imitation or whatever with art when it comes to art. And if you take someone's work and you start to expand off of that, granted you're using someone else's design, but you're inspired by their work to create more. So I don't think you should be selling yourself short. So speaking of which, there were a couple there that I really I saw out of the corner of my eye when you're on. And I don't want to make you keep getting up or anything, but there were these little guys that this one particularly, did I see that one over there?
Well, I didn't show that one, but let me go over there once more and I can show off all of these as well. Because
I'd love to see those. Imitation is the best form of flattery. Thank you. I knew it.
The photos of those I have are currently still the digital ones. But here you go. Now let me open the doors again. So I've got all of them built up in the meantime. Those are all from the anime Dragon Ball.
Right.
So we've got the Kami's Palace, Kami House. Then we have the Tower of the Red Ribbon Army, the Muscle Tower. And then the Tournament Arena and Pilaf's Castle is the fifth one here.
Now, do you have a rough idea of how many bricks some of these are taken?
Did
you build them digitally?
I also designed them digitally and then ordered all the parts in the end.
Right.
And these smaller models, I think those are maybe something between 200 and 300 bricks each.
Oh, wow.
My bigger mocks that I showed before are more between 1,000 and 2,000, let's say.
Wow, that's impressive. That's a lot of time.
This is 2,500, I think, about.
That is so beautiful. I love that one.
Me too, also because it's inspired from Magic the Gathering, which I'm also a huge fan of.
Right,
so
right. You made me familiar with that. I wasn't familiar with the Magic, Dragon Ball, or I did know Legend of Zelda because I did grow up in.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
But
all nerdy stuff.
well, all the other stuff was just a little bit after my time. You know, I was nerding out on other stuff. That is.
If anyone is interested, I can take out one of these and we could look at it a bit more up close. I'm not sure which one would be most interesting.
Well, let's see. Which one do you think? Oh, that I do love that castle that you've got. I'm not all that creative, please. Modest, humble. He's doing all right. You know, it takes a lot of work to take something from an image and turn it into a 3D, deal. Wow, it's warm in here. I turn off the heat. Yeah, if you want, whichever one is there someone here that has a specific mock that they'd like to see? Because we've got.
I have an idea. If anyone is interested in something specific, then type it in there.
Yeah, go for it. So now this is your building space, your workspace as well that you're in. Ooh, what do you got? Is that the white one?
Yeah, exactly. So to answer your question, this is both my living room, my office, and my Lego space, so to speak.
Efficient. I like it.
All right, and so I've chosen to take out one of my mocks here because this one actually, when I designed this one on the computer, I wasn't sure whether it would work out in real life. And this is something I've experienced multiple times, that you put together a design in the computer, and then when you try to put it together in real life, you realize that some of the connections don't work or some of the techniques are not stable enough. And for this one here, let me switch the camera again.
Now, oh God, that I love that.
This one is basically hovering only on this one red pole here. So I really wasn't sure whether it would hold,
Right.
But yeah, it worked out.
So now, what's the connection you got there to top and bottom?
Let me point a bit more light here. This should.
Sorry for my close face, everyone. I'm trying to look just like you are.
Here at the bottom, it's basically just.
Oh yeah.
Wobble it. Yeah, I can wobble it. Give me a minute.
Rowan.
So it's not the most stable build, but if you put it in the shelf, then it will be in an equilibrium and it won't wobble around anymore.
That's really cool. Rowan had a lot of confidence in saying wobble it there. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, the bottom connection is pretty simple. And then at the top, I have used this cone piece, which is the cool one, because at the bottom it connects to the pole, and in the top it connects to an Technic axle piece that goes through the whole top part of the construction here.
It's gorgeous, and you're sitting here, man. Yeah, you are too modest, sir. It's a phenomenal build. It's a beautiful build, and it's structurally impressive. I mean,
yeah.
It's for all intents and purposes, the way the mind works, that should not be standing like that per se.
Thank you so much.
I mean, that's just awesome. That is very, very cool. So now, is that one of the ones that you used for Tiny Masters or no?
Yes, this was actually my submission for the very first round of Tiny Masters. So this one got me into the contest in the first place.
That's the one that got you in the contest in the first place.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why I have such a personal attachment to that one, because every time I see that one, I'm drawn to it. And maybe if that's the one where I first saw your work, maybe. I don't know. I can't remember because let's see. No, I saw your work before that, I think. I'm looking at your page here. Because I think I saw your Netflix build, which is the one that.
Oh, yeah.
That one is. Did you make that out of brick?
Yeah. I can get it if you want.
Yeah, I would love it. Isn't it such a cool build? So by the way, let me give the introductions again right here. It is an amazing build. This is Matthias down here. He's in Austria. He's the guy up here that's MB Mox. Hit that follow. Boom. I'm John with Back to Brick. I'm the new guy here. I'm block_head_23. He's getting ready to show us a build here that he gained inspiration from the Netflix series Dark. It's a Norwegian series, I believe. Is that correct?
A German one.
Oh, German. Okay. It's German. It's got like three seasons on Netflix, I believe. It's really cool. I have only watched a couple episodes myself, but I'm a huge structure build. If anyone hasn't seen what I post a lot of, I love a lot of structure. I love a lot of engineering, clean work, but I love all of it. This captured my eye pretty quickly, though. That's wow. So now, could you put your hand on it just so I could see the scale real quick?
I can get the other one right next to it also.
Oh, that works too. Great. I didn't realize you still had. Oh my gosh.
It's wobbling again.
It's great. That is wow. So how many bricks is that?
This church is about 2,500 to 300, I would say, to 3,000, something in that area.
Wow, the wobble is a great aesthetic, and Lewis says you look like a Viking. Amazing. This is your best mock. He loves it. Now that
I can show you what I'm going. How I'm doing it. Let's see if I find it.
I will
here. This is where I start. Can you see this? This is pretty dark. I don't know whether my screen is visible. This is what I start with. I go and I look up these inspiration photos, these reference pics. So I get those off of Google search. And the cool thing with this one is, this is actually a real church that is standing near Berlin in Germany.
Right.
So there are some real photos of it, also from the inside. And that's what I use as a reference.
Lewis, have you been there? He's not in Berlin though. That's awesome. So let's see here. Yeah. So what does the back look like of this guy?
Yes. One thing I try to do with my builds whenever possible is I try to include some interior spaces also. So this is the perfect scale for it because, as I said before, it's smaller than minifigure scale, but it's still large enough that it lets me include some interior spaces. They are just half the scale of minifig scale, basically. And so either I try... Sorry?
You're creating furniture at half minifig scale is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And so either I try to build it in a modular way that you can take off the layers, or like I did with this one is open from the back. So let me turn it around. And then you can see, I just need to try to get some light in there first. So it's open from the back. And what I also did here, you can take off the...
Beautiful.
The roof here. And then, so these are recreations from the show. So basically, it's a room from the Netflix show that I tried to recreate here in micro Lego form. I have a little sofa here and some chairs and some desks and some lamps.
That work is phenomenal. So here I'm going to show for some of there's posts on his page here. This is the tile work we're looking at right here. The first page, this is the first post on this one. It goes through, it's got the tile work, comparison to the movie, or the series, I'm sorry, and then there's more. So it's really, really dope stuff. That's awesome. I'm glad I get to see it like this. So you got the pews down there below. Is that a modular build on top of there as well, or no?
No, this is fixed together. But one thing, I need to try to do it with one hand now, and I'm not sure I will manage to do it. But the tower can come off. I think I need both hands though. So give me 1 second and I'll put down the phone.
Okay, thank you. This is awesome.
Done. So there we go. So here you can see it splits.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
And the tower here.
When you said tower, I thought you meant just the top comes off modular. This is, oh, that's great.
And you have the other room in there at the bottom.
That's where, okay. So that's where this room comes from. This.
Yeah, exactly.
gosh, dude. Oh, that gives it a whole different level of building. I see now I can put the context together. That is, wow. That is stellar craftsmanship.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I always try to get some interior details in there. That makes it even more fun. And yeah. I mean, when I have these on my shelf and I look at them, I basically I can dive into these fictional worlds where they are taken from. And when I put those little bits of interior in there, then this increases the effect even for me.
Sure. Oh my God, it's a beautiful build. It's an absolutely superb build. That is that's aesthetically pleasing but also functional. You hear this? WTFE says, "I love when a master builder, he's speaking of you, Matthias, makes something that's aesthetically pleasing but also functional." I agree 100%. I mean, you see so many of the builds that are phenomenal like this. Hello, your Lego feed. Pleasure to see you. Thanks for popping in. You see so many of these builds that are aesthetically pleasing like this, and then you flip it around. And granted, you have to do this with some of the stuff, but when you're doing just builds like this, mocks, you don't want to see it. But you flip it around, and the Gutty Works is all pink and yellow and green and white. And, yeah. And I get that. I do that as well. You have to do that. But when you're working on this kind of level here, and you see someone do that, it kind of just it takes away so much from the build. Not to say that their build isn't phenomenal, but man, if they would have just gone a little bit further, or maybe they couldn't, obviously. But it's just, oh my God, it adds so much more. It's such a dark build, and I guess the name of the series is perfect because it's so great. It's got like, and I'm sure if Peter were awake, he might be here coming up soon. He's in Minnesota. If he saw that right now, he'd be freaking out because that's right up his alley. You've seen his work.
Oh, yeah. Good. Oh, that's right. He wrote me multiple times that this is his favorite work of mine.
So good. But I don't think he knows that it's like that, though, dude. So now he's going to see this video and he's going to want to fly to Austria and smack you down. Why didn't I think of that? It's so good, and the scaling is so impressive, so extremely impressive. Now, that being said, because this is a good kind of segue into that, is that you do these, and so we just did this guy, and we saw earlier this guy right here that you say the instructions are, well, this was on Lego Ideas, but the instructions are available on is it Brick Design or on Rebrickable? Rebrickable. Okay, so he's got instructions for these, but what he also does, which are really cool, so you see hold on here, let me get to it. Oh, I can't do a teaser without, so that dome right there, you see that dome right there? What he does also is not just have those instructions, he's got these little dome roof tutorials, so you can go through and build these things. Whoops. He's got it for that. He's got it for this Triforce, which remind me of which that goes to again. Is that Zelda?
Yeah, it's from the same build. It's also from the same Temple of Time. It's the inside.
Inside. That's right. Okay. And then the palm tree, is that from it as well?
The palm tree is from one of the little Dragon Ball mocks.
Yeah, the Kame Island or Kame Island or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right. So these and we chatted about this because when I did I did a feature of Matthias's work over on my personal page, and I was posting up his stuff, and it was getting really great response. But then I posted up a tutorial, and I was like, people love these tutorials. I was like, you got to do more of the tutorials. So we're hoping you're going to be doing the instructions for which one did you say coming up?
The next instructions that I'm planning on releasing will be for all the Dragon Ball builds.
You're doing that one.
And this one also. Yeah, this will be after the Dragon Ball ones. So the 5 Dragon Ball ones will be the next ones, and then this one after that.
Okay, once again, people, this is what that one does. It doesn't just sit there. It's got multiple movement. Pretty cool. He doesn't have it up right now because he's working on it.
Yeah, I had to make some improvements. I'm planning on selling some of those instructions. So I really want to get both the build and the building experience as good as I can. So when I'm taking money for it, then I want to provide some value.
Very cool. That's very cool. That's super appreciated by not only, you know, myself, but I'm sure many other folks as well, because I know that when I posted these, because the point of me posting the things that I do is not so that I don't care. I don't care about how many followers I care. I don't care about. The point is, I'm getting them over to you. I'm always tagging, saying, "Oh, go ask Matthias this," or "You should go check out." That's the whole point of it. Hello, Emily. Thanks for joining in. But that's the whole point of it, is to get more exposure, because it's a big world. Not everybody gets to see everyone's page. And I've had so many people be like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I just learned about Matthias, or this tutorial from him, or the Tiny Masters thing going on." And which is, by the way, okay, see you in a bit. The Tiny Masters thing, which I don't know, we've had a lot of people in and out. Matthias is taking part in the Tiny Masters contest right now. The voting starts tomorrow. What's the name? It's Tiny Masters. What is it? It's
TinyMasters.contest.
Yeah, TinyMasters.contest. It's this guy right here. How do they only have 528 followers? Y'all need to go follow Tiny Masters. I don't know but so like they only post like these things, but in their stories right here, they don't have a story right now. In their story,
there have been so many amazing submissions this season already. So I was stunned by what all the contestants delivered. The quality was so cool.
So here we go. Let me just, I don't want to go I don't want to go through all of it. I mean, Ralph didn't make it to the finals. Rangolf. Anyone know him? Ralph? Let's see here. Let me pull it up.
Ralph didn't have time for his submission, so he basically dropped out.
Was that what it was? Okay, because I was like, he went up against Martin. Or Martine. Is it Martine? Probably Martine.
Yeah.
I interact with him quite a bit online. There's so many we don't have the dialects down just yet. But there's so many. I mean, I've met so many builders. I think I met Martine through there. Mini Custom Set I met through there. There's just so many. AFOL Badger, the one that you went up against, I met through there. Jay Bricks. That's through that is that Lord of the Rings one. Awesome. The Force Perspective one.
I also have to say the community around this contest has been so great. Even though we were all competing against each other, there's been so much support, and I feel like I really found a lot of new friends just from competing in this contest, and that's been really, really cool.
And that was another thing that I wanted to point out, is that in your builds or in your posts, when you are posting about the Tiny Masters, is that it's talking about Lego community, because that's what all of this is really about. What we're doing here, what we're going to be doing tonight with the Technic series, all the stuff that we're doing here is all really community based. So what I find really, really cool, and this is not just in your posting, this seems to be in everyone who partakes in this, is that if you read through, people, do us all a favor. There's a more button right here. There's a lot more to read, not just photos on Instagram. Lots of stuff. Hey, Rick, what's up, dude? So there's a lot of stuff when we write. So he's got a lot of stuff written here. What's really cool, what he wrote in here, on the bottom says, my final opponent in the Tiny Masters contest is Martine, who built a lovely rendition of Hansel and Gretel for his submission. He's also a great guy, so if you don't know him yet, you should definitely check out his page and leave some support. So that's what this is all about. I mean, we're not like, that's why I changed. I had a little challenge that just wrapped up the other day, and I started off calling it a contest. And granted, this is a little bit of a contest. This is people definitely going up against one another per se, right? And it's designed to be that way. That's good. But I like that, the challenge aspect of it for me, for the community, and the fact that you guys are actually competing against one another and you are still being supportive like that speaks volumes to what the Lego community is all about. I mean, do you feel extremely welcomed?
I just feel it was so much fun, and just having these challenges each round where you can build something and then meeting all of these cool people. It's been just really, really great experience.
Sure.
And it's been the first contest where I ever competed in. And I only started my Instagram page in February or March this year, I think end of February.
February 26th was your first post.
Yeah. And I have to admit, I was very hesitant at first starting up this Instagram account because I wasn't big into social media before ever. But I was so blown away by this awesome Lego community here on Instagram. It was not only through this Tiny Masters contest, but also just by following other people, commenting on each other's posts, chatting with people. It's been so cool. And I would have never imagined last year how many cool people I would meet here and how many connections you find here.
It's unreal.
Not only Lego parts connections, but also people connections.
You're punning over there. You're punning. I like it. So now, actually, real quick question, because we were talking about Tiny Masters, and we're going to wrap up here in a little bit, because it's been an hour, and I don't want to go too long. I don't want to take you away from here. The community is strong. That's Adnan, by the way, down there. Give that guy a follow. Follow Mockmate. Actually, if you hit the button up here and pull down, follow all of them, because there's some really phenomenal builders in here. We've got Adnan, we got Rick, we got Lewis. There's a bunch of others in here. Oh, by the way, the Astute Penguin was another name that I wanted to throw out there that I learned from the Tiny Masters contest. Real talented builder, really cool person as well.
I would shout out everyone who participated in the contest.
Just go check Tiny Masters and follow all those people. Now, are you familiar with Iron Builders?
Yeah. I have been following their page, and those challenges are also so much fun with the seat pieces they have. This is really cool, yeah.
So now, is that something that you've considered doing as well?
The problem is, I think the Iron Builders only accept physical builds, so I'm pretty much out when it comes to participating there. Would only be possible once I have amassed more of a collection for myself.
True.
But yeah, I think they have 2 weeks time and have to create 7 creations in 2 weeks or something like that. And that's just not possible with my approach.
It's so cool. Let me pull up. I think it's Brick Lees, Leas, Brick Leas. This is so well. Here, let me pull this. Let me pull this up right here. Kit Nugent. I didn't know his last name was Nugent. That's awesome. Elias Ubner. So this is the Iron Builders contest. I don't know if you can't really see, I guess, maybe because there's a glare, but they have one piece. The piece is right there. Can you see it? The one piece that they get to use is the focus piece, right? So it's the panel, the 3x5 solar deltoid with clip in white. They have to use that as their focus piece in Iron Builders. So do they have like a number that they have to use? Like, do they have to use 200 of them, or?
I think the way it works, they are getting a package delivered by mail, and then it contains, I don't know, some 200 pieces of this one part. They don't have to use all of those for every build, of course, but they don't know what it is. And then only on the day the contest starts, I think they open it and they find out which piece they have to work with. And then I think they have about 2 weeks and are creating something like 7 builds. Don't quote me on any of that, please. It's just from memory.
You're documented. No, I think you're right along the lines there. It's something along those lines. Go check it out. Iron Builders, Iron_Builders. It's a really cool thing, and if you do get it, I think you do really well, because, I mean, you want to talk about stretching creativity. I mean, you've got this panel that you have to somehow incorporate as your main focus as your build. It's super cool. I've met a lot of really talented and cool builders through that series as well. It's really, really neat. So, okay. Well, so speaking of, you're not doing the Iron Builders, what do you have coming up?
I already said the next big thing, or next thing I'm planning of working on is finally making some more building instruction. I've made 2 so far, but I've got so many more mocks made already, and I want to get the instructions out there, because that's also maybe a fun quirk about me. I see myself more of a set designer than a mock designer. I know people are building mocks that look really great from one angle, and they give the most amazing picture. This is something I also adore very much, but it's not my approach. So my approach is always building a nice, neat little set, and in the best case, something that can be reproduced by someone else who finds it interesting or likes what it looks like.
It's so interesting to hear so many different opinions on that because I speak with so many folks and I'm like, when are you going to make instructions for that build? And specifically Teflon Todd down in Australia there. He's got this Sanctum Sanctorium that he's working on. And it's gorgeous. It's just beautiful. It's 4 stories. It's got to be 10,000 bricks or something. I don't know. And I'm like, when are you going to make instructions? He's like, yeah, right. He's like, I have piles of things. They go together and they look nice and then they stay there. I'm not building instructions for anything.
Of course, I have the advantage of designing everything digital first,
right.
So I already have my model on the computer.
Right.
Of course, there's still a lot of manual work that goes into making the instructions. Sure. You have to divide everything in steps, and then you have to do all the layouting. So it's really not just a click of a button and you have the instructions. You have to do a lot of work to get there. But I find it's actually a nice change of pace, so to speak. So from you need a different kind of mental energy for it, and sure. It's something you can do in between the design work. So I actually enjoy it. The only problem I have is my computer is getting really slow when the model is getting too big.
Because you're probably rendering so much stuff at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of rendering, this is going to be my last question here real quick before we wrap things up because we're getting over an hour here and I don't want to go too long. Your primary program that you use, are you using Studio?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're using off of Bricklink Studio. For those that aren't familiar, it's stud.io, stud.io. It's a really good program to use. It's pretty user friendly. Especially to those that are just really getting into it. It will walk you through it. They do have great tutorials with it as well when you first download it and start it. And I think that's what Adnan uses as well right down there, the guy who's throwing the heart eyes down there. I think that's what he used. Don't S up. What is that? I don't know that means. Hello, Lego Farm. So we were just getting ready to wrap up, actually. Lego Farm, they've got some really good builds down there as well. So Adnan does use Studio. So highly recommend it. This is Matthias down here. He does his builds in Studio, but he also does them in person. So he can order them off the parts off of Studio where you get them from Bricklink.
Yeah.
You get them Bricklink, and then he builds them, and they're amazing. I mean, do you still have the ones right in front of you there we can give one more quick glimpse of?
Sure.
Let's see here. Real quick, for those that didn't see, look at that. That is just gorgeous. That is from the series Dark off of Netflix. And you got, there we go, for scale purposes. And now that's from what?
Dragon Ball.
That's right. Okay, I didn't want to mess it up because I know people are very particular. I didn't want to cross genres here. So, but this is Matthias's work. He's a phenomenal builder. He's out of Austria. He is MB Mox right up there. That's him down there. But you tag that up there, follow him. He's got some phenomenal builds. He's got instructions for some of his builds on Rebrickable, and he's going to have more instructions coming up on Rebrickable here. Yeah, well, yeah, but you seem like you're pretty determined, and you've also inspired me to be able to kind of look at those things a little differently, because I was that kind of guy that didn't want to look at instructions or building instructions as a fun thing or something that I look forward to, but hearing you talk about it makes me a little bit less happy about it. I appreciate that. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Matthias?
Just thanks again so much, John, not for having me here, but also for everything you do for the community. It's so cool, and you're featuring all those great artists and builders, and you have so much joy, and it's just really great to watch you talk about Lego. It's just so much fun.
Well, it's a lot of fun. I mean, Lego's real. Thank you, Adnan. Thank you, Matthias. I really, really appreciate it. It's real difficult. I mean, I feel naked here because I'm not surrounded by all my Lego, and I only got this little Lego guy right here, which is not only. This is from Peter. It's so phenomenal. I had to have some Lego with me, but I really know I appreciate the kind words, and I only view myself as a vehicle to get artists like yourself out to new sets of eyes and new sets of ears, and oh, thank you so much for this. This is not about me, okay? But I really appreciate what you do, and you're a phenomenal artist, you're a phenomenal builder, and you're an even better human being. Interacting with you over the last few months has been a joy, And I'm glad to have struck up a friendship with you, Lewis, Adnan, all you guys in here. I really appreciate it. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are what makes this community possible. So I'm just a vehicle to get that out to other folks.
Second, that Lou is also a great guy. Shout out to Mockmate down there.
Lewis is great. Adnan's great. Well, look at all these guys. Love it. Look at. No, he's the best for me. Well, this has turned into a love fest. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, Matthias, so much. I'm going to sign off with you here, sir. I'm going to chat with them a little bit longer just to give them a little bit more details. But I'll chat with you, I'm sure, a million more times today. We're always chatting with each other. So I'll talk to you soon, Matthias. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Thank you so much again, Matthias. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I am John from Back to Brick. You can hit the X button up in the corner there. That'll get you out. You get it? There we go. All right, cool. Thank you very much. And thank you. I appreciate it, Lewis. And thank you, Adnan. And I'm sorry, I'm in a different room right now because it is 6 a.m. right now and everyone's sleeping. And my Lego room is above where everyone sleeps. So I'm trying to be the nice guy. So that's why I brought Peter's design down with me. This is Awfully Good's little micro build that he sent to me of his thing that's on Brick Design. His design that's on Brick Design is so cool, isn't it? So cool. He gave it to me as a gift. These things are over 40 years old. So anyways, that was Matthias, MB Mox. Really appreciate everybody for joining in. He came in to us from Austria. I'm coming in here from Oregon, so the time difference is a little different. We started at 5 a.m. here and 2 p.m. there, but it was so worth it. And man, what an amazing builder. And we got to get the tour of his place, which was great. And I finally got to see the scale of his work, which is phenomenal. I didn't realize it. You don't know the scale until you really see it in physical form. So it was really cool. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight, be sure to tune in about 13 and a half hours from now. We're going to be starting Don't Sweat the Lego Technique series. I don't know if Rowan's still in here. He might be in bed by now. But R.H. Beckett, I believe he from Australia. He's going to be starting the Don't Sweat the Lego Technique tonight at 7:30 p.m. That's Pacific time. That's where I'm at. It's 10:30 Eastern time. So imagine in Europe, it is going to be 9 hours ahead of me. So that would be what, 4:30 in the morning, maybe? I don't know. Good luck. So we're going to be starting. He's going to teach us about Lego Technic and Lego movement. We're going to be doing this same thing here. Hopefully I'll figure it out so that he can be up top and I'm down below so you can see what's going on a little bit more so with what he's doing. He built a new contraption for his phone just for this series. It's so cool, out of Lego. So it's got this movement. If you go on his page, it's super cool. So once again, tonight, 7:30 here on Back to Brick. I will be hosting this Don't Sweat the Lego Technique series. It's going to be going on for a few weeks here. We're going to have a live stream every night. There are going to be 4 episodes with each artist. They're going to go 15 to 30 minutes a piece. It's going to be awesome. We're going to learn so much Lego. Too much Lego. My wife's already heard too much. So, and then I got series 2 coming up in January. We already announced. We got Alex, aka Adwin, walking us through his Home Alone set. He's going to walk us through from it being an idea to it being an idea set. It's going to be super cool. And then we've got Flor Watkins from Lego Masters Australia. She's going to walk us through from being a mocker to a master, which is super dope. Then we've got Adnan, who's in here somewhere, still somewhere. Boom, 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 boom. If you pull it down, and Rick, if he's in here somewhere. But Adnan, he's going to be walking us through his process of doing all the album covers, his Lego ideas, his commission work with Time Magazine. And then Rick Brickham, who was in here earlier. I'm not sure if he's in here anymore, but if you find him, go follow him. He's going to walk us through his digital builds with the Psycho House. He's got this Hellraiser cube that's phenomenal, and he's got Lego Ideas projects too. It's going to be so awesome. Yes, I am looking forward to it as well, Adna. And then we've got Billy from Bricks and Banter podcast. He is going to be chatting us through not only the fact about his podcast. Yeah, we chat to other podcasters because, you know, it's a big world. There's a lot of room for a lot of podcasts. But we're not going to be just talking about his podcast. We're going to be talking about his customization of Legos. Something that it was so foreign to me for so long because it just didn't. Lego was Lego, right? You had it. He customizes Lego minifigs, and he does a lot of them. And he has a lot of people that buy them from him. So we're going to chat with him about how he does that, his process. It's going to be awesome. And then I've got 2 more people that I'll be adding that I can't announce yet. I will announce in a couple weeks, but that starts in January. First week in January, 2022, we'll be starting that. But first series 1 starts tonight, 7:30, Rowan Beckett. We got 6 other artists. Got it posted here. Follow along, 7:30 tonight. We're going to do a live stream. It's going to go about 15 to 30 minutes. Rowan Beckett's going to teach us how to do Lego Technic and Lego movement, and it's going to be super cool because he's got this, it's 4 meter high rolling ball contraption or whatever it's called. It's unreal. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here early, late, midday, wherever you are. And thank you to Matthias so much. MB Mox, thank you so much for giving us our tour and walking us through your process. Really looking forward to what you got coming up. So make sure to give those guys a follow, and I will see you here in about 13 and a half hours. Okay. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.